Did that even start fucking recording? Yes. Alright. I don't even give a fuck. I'm not editing that out. This is like the fourth time I've tried to record this video. Saviors MMA is back, y'all, with UFC 319 predictions. This is how my YouTube career really starts. I'm done lacking, bro. First fight. Alibi Idris versus Joseph Morales. This fight literally just got added like 48 hours ago. I don't know. Idris decision. Whatever. Kareem Silva versus Dion Barbosa. Bro, again, I don't really know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Kareem Silva decision. Here's where we start getting crazy. I definitely spelled his name wrong. Nursultan Ruziboev versus Brian Battle, right? This is Brian Battle's move up to the middleweight division. To be quite honest, I don't think that weight was his problem. I mean, it was because he kept missing weight, but I feel like that was kind of his own fault. I don't know what he had going on where he couldn't make 170 and he's built like that. But like I can't imagine he's cutting more than like I don't know 5 or 10 pounds to get to middleweight compared to welterweight. I'm definitely probably wrong. It's probably like 15 or 20 pounds, but still, regardless of all that, I feel like he definitely should have just gotten a little bit of consistency, gotten a little bit of a work ethic in him. I guess I don't know, a little bit more. You know, you gotta have work ethic to be in the UFC, but just a little bit of dedication in him to make that cut to 170 because I really don't think that middleweight is the place for him. Nursultan Ruziboev, also a former welterweight who came up to middleweight, but he's been here for a while. I think he's been there since his fight with Joaquin Buckley, which was about a year ago. So he's Nursultan Ruziboev is a middleweight now. He's pretty stringy, but he is a middleweight. For that reason, I feel like Ruziboev is just gonna work him down the whole fight. I've got him by decision. I think that I don't necessarily think Nursultan is a better fighter. I mean, some aspects, but like I said, I don't think Brian Battle's real problem is weight. I think his problem is not being able to commit to making 170. I think he could easily, like, no problem. But I think he's just not I just don't think he's dedicated enough to the 170 division to make that weight all the time. On the next fight, Edson Barbosa and Drakkar Klose. This one, it's just two old heads, bro. They're going at it. Off the top of my head, I don't even know what I picked, bro. But I think that whatever, dude. It comes down to it. Edson Barbosa's getting the knockout. Chase Hooper. There's a reason I spelled his name like that. If you ever sees this, you know, bro. I know who you are. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez, I don't follow Alexander Hernandez deeply, but I mean, from what I know, he's a very well-rounded fighter, but I don't think he really excels at anything. I think he's got some pretty good like wrestling, but I just don't think it's enough to stop Chase Hooper. At the same time, I am not sure if I have full confidence in Chase Hooper getting a finish in this fight. I think he definitely could 100%, no problem, but I just feel in my body, I feel like this fight is going to a decision and Chase Hooper is going to win it. But excuse me, well, I got to edit that out. I don't know why they just would not load the picture for Lupita Godinez onto my slide, but I got Andrade by decision. There's not much to really talk about. Honestly, a lot of people are thinking that Godinez is going to win this. Understandable. She's on a streak, I think, or something. But she has some of the god-awful, most like horrible fight IQ I've ever seen. So I think she's going to be not even going to be winning, but I think she'll be on a good track and just, I don't know, get outboxed or something. So next we got GM3 versus Mikhail Olejniczak. I know how to say his name. I don't know how to spell it. This fight, I mean, it's just a couple more old heads, bro. I don't think it's gonna be really a super exciting fight. I can't like break it down and be like, I think GM3 is gonna, press Mikhail up against the fence. Which I mean, I guess that is probably gonna happen. But like, who cares, bro? Mearshart by third round KO TKO. I think it'll be getting close to a decision. Everybody's like, yeah, whatever. That's the fight we were expecting. And as much as everybody loves Gerald Mearshart, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like every single fight he has is a banger. He has bangers, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's Justin Gaethje, prime Justin Gaethje. That being said, I still think that he's a better fighter. I think he's going to win across all 3 rounds, and then late in the third, he's just gonna find a shot or be out grappling Mikhail and just start raining down ground and pound, something like that. I see it happening in my head. Next, we got we got Bobby Green and Diego Ferreira. This fight, I've literally not seen a single person that I know personally pick Diego Ferreira. I don't know why. I have Diego Ferreira by round 2 TKO specifically. I think that Bobby Green, bro, it's time to hang him up, man. I think this might actually be his retirement fight. I could see a double retirement here because this is a couple more old heads that they got going. But not to complain, I'm just pointing it out. But Bobby Green, think about the streak he's on, bro. Ever since I can't even off the top of my head, I don't know all of his fights since Jalen Turner, but I know for a fact that he's on a bad streak right now. That's the thing about Bobby Green, bro. Like, you can't really count him out. I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm really questioning my pick in this very moment. The thing about Bobby Green, bro, is like like I said, you really can't count him out. He absolutely styled on Jim Miller. I was not expecting that at all. I had picked Jim Miller with like complete confidence going into that fight. And it's not to say that Jim Miller is some like crazy, like if this was like 2015 he beat Jim Miller, I'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean? But as of when he beat him, I'm pretty sure that was after Jalen Turner actually, and then he lost to Patty, and then he lost to Rufy. So if my memory serves me right, he's on a good win over Jim Miller at UFC 300. He's on, and I can't even bring up Jalen Turner because that was like 2 years ago at this point. But he's on a good win against Jim Miller, UFC 300. That was like a year ago now, a year and some change. And then July, I think, July, because it was 304. He got like beat on, choked out, and his arm broken by Patty Pimblett. And then he got KO'd by Mauricio Rufy in like March, bro. That was only March. It's August. That was not that long ago, bro. And I mean, the thing about that heel kick is it didn't connect like super clean, but it still sent him out cold. So I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about that because it wasn't that hard of a shot, but still it had the effect of one. So I don't know how that really affects Bobby Green. And the thing about that is what's making me kind of reconsider my pick, but I still excuse me. Whoa. I'm gonna go with Diego Ferreira, bro. Next up, we got flyweight. Yes. My division, bro. We got flyweight. We got Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. This is the fight that Kai Asakura should have come into the UFC in, bro. Not a title shot. I don't know what they were doing, considering he's a bantamweight too. I also don't know what the switch up is from bantamweight to flyweight. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. That's besides the point. Kai Asakura, I think everybody's picking him by knockout. I'm not gonna do that. I'm picking Kai Asakura by decision because Tim Elliott. Yes, the joke is that he's spawned like the UFC. The UFC created, the flyweight division, and Tim Elliott spawned into number 12, never moved. Right. There's a reason for that, right? He hasn't fought in a fat minute, but there's a reason that they kept him in the rankings this long, bro. It's because he's just one of the mainstays of the division. That's just how it is. So that being said, I don't think he's gonna go out there and like get sparked. You know what I mean? I just don't see that happening. So I got Kai Asakura by decision because I still do think he's a better fighter. Yeah, not much else to say. This is the one. Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier. I think a lot of people are gonna. No one's gonna watch this video, bro. But if anyone sees this video, they're gonna be like, "What is this pick?" Let me explain. All right. Jared Cannonier, his last like three. Wait, let me think. His last I know for a fact his last two fights have been. Like, his last fight was the win over Gregory Rodriguez. Okay, so the last three fights was Imavov, Kaio, and Rodriguez, right? RoboCop. That Imavov stoppage, horrible. I screamed on my TV. That Kaio fight could have been stopped. I can't remember what round that was, but that Kaio fight could have been stopped. He gets hit a lot. like Jared Cannonier gets hit a lot. And what I've seen people say is that, yeah, Jared Cannonier is not necessarily like a grappler, but he's shown the ability to grapple, like to have the brain power to be like, okay, this guy's gonna punch me in the face too many times. I need to go to the ground. He has that ability and that thought in his head. But unless he does that with Michael Venom Page, bro, I do not see him winning this fight. I have MVP by third round TKO because I think that the fight, it's going to be a back and forth fight the whole time. I think it's going to be, a kind of tick for tack fight. I think it'll be like the kind of fight where both rounds are close, but the same dude wins both rounds. Does that make sense? I don't know, man. That makes sense. So I think what it's going to come down to is someone's looking for a finish, whether Jared's looking for a finish and he overexerts and gets clipped, or MVP's looking for a finish and he goes in there, like pushes the pace a little more than he usually does because he likes to kind of just stand there and bounce around and like wait for the dude to throw so he can dodge and make it look like he's, doing something with defense. But, yeah, I'm sticking with MVP third round KO. I have no TKO. I have no question about this, to be completely honest. I mean, maybe a little bit. I could see it going to decision 100% and then it going either way. But as of right now, I feel good saying MVP is going to get a technical knockout over Jared Cannonier in the third round of their fight this weekend. we got Carlos Prates and Jeff Neal. I'm not here to make the CP jokes, bro. Everybody else has done that. It ain't even funny. But Jeff Neal, he's always looking with one eyebrow up. That's why I put 2 pictures of him, I think. But this is going to be a crazy pick. I'm going to go ahead and expose it now. I got Jeff Neal by decision. Okay? I got Jeff Neal by decision, everybody. And I want this to be known that this is my opinion. I think that Jeff Neal is going to be the one to shut down Carlos Prates. I think he's going to hold him against the cage because that's what Ian Gary did. Not really for real, but Ian Gary was doing that, bro. That is what Jeff Neal's bread and butter, right, is boxing and pushing you on the cage. That's literally all he does, bro. And I'm pretty sure that that's what Carlos Prates is bad at defending. So I don't know, bro, but at the same time, I really don't think we've seen enough Carlos Prates for me personally to make a super educated pick on this, just because I don't know, man. I think he's kind of unpredictable, honestly. I thought, why didn't he go for the finish against Ian? That's really my question. He had him knocked down against the cage. I remember so vividly in my head, and he didn't do anything about it. And I just don't. I feel like that has nothing to do with Jeff Neal. I was just kind of wondering about that, but I just feel like Jeff Neal. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I could see this either being Carlos Prates body TKO, knockout, whatever, like the first or second or something. But I think if it goes to a decision, that Jeff Neal is gonna win. That's basically what I'm saying here, and I'm picking it just because it'd be crazy if it's true. Next, we got dude, my Google Slides would not let me put the normal picture of Aaron Pico that everyone uses where he's like, crunching his fists in the Bellator gloves or whatever. So I had to get this old ass picture of him. But we've got Aaron Pico and Lerone Murphy. But I don't do imitations or whatever. What's that word, bro? I don't know. I don't do imitations of fighters usually, bro, but Lerone Murphy, bro. He is literally Leon Edwards 2.0. I'm not gonna lie. I think Aaron Pico is going to box his bloody head off, and that's it. That's really it, bro. I think that Aaron Pico is going to box the head off of Lerone Murphy, bro. And it's not something that I'm doing just because I don't like Lerone Murphy. I think he's fine, whatever. But I mean, someone's got to do something about it, bro. Like, imagine this guy gets a title shot. Imagine Lerone Murphy, bro, gets a title shot. Just I'm going to let everybody sit in silence and think about that possibility for a second. And even think about who he's going to fight. I'm not going to tell you who I think he would fight, but think about who he'd fight. Does that sound like a good time to you? No, it does not. That's the type of cards my friends are like, Nah, I'm good, bro. You can watch that on your own. I'm like, all right, cool. Aaron Pico, please save us, bro. Main event. We got the main event, bro. Dricus versus Hamzat. I have been waiting since Hamzat beat Robert Whittaker for this, bro. I was originally on the bandwagon of like, nah, Hamzat needs one more fight. Who cares, bro? Who actually cares? Now that the fight is booked, it's literally about to happen. I don't give a shit who is getting this title shot because it's Hamzat, bro. I mean, you could do all the breakdowns you want of this fight. Every single prediction you make is wrong. I guarantee it. Hamzat round 2 TKO. I don't think he's gonna get a sub. Everybody's picking him by submission. I do not think that Hamzat is going to get a submission, bro. I think that he is going to he's gonna be Hamzat, bro. We know what Hamzat does. I think he's gonna work Dricus down the first round. Dricus is gonna be fresh enough to like defend it, whatever. Also, a huge part of this is, bro, I saw them not like face off, but I saw that video of them like in a basketball court or whatever, and they're like shaking hands, just saying what's up. I did not know how much taller Hamzat Chimaev was than Dricus du Plessis, bro. I had no clue. As soon as I saw that, I changed my pick, bro. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had du Plessis by decision before. I completely changed everything around because of that, bro. I think that Hamzat, bro, everybody talks about how physical Dricus is, right? And how ripped he is, how crazy it is. But Hamzat, bro, he's just a bigger guy. He's just a bigger dude. He's not going to be as shredded as Dricus because he's like 3 inches taller, bro. And that's not a crazy difference, but like, I mean, what is so physical about Dricus that is not physical about Hamzat, bro? Think about like those Dricus wrestling exchanges with Derek Brunson, right? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Hamzat is a better wrestler than Derek Brunson, bro. And everybody's gonna say, Dricus has improved since then. Whatever. That's great and all, bro. But if you're having like competitive scrambles with, it wasn't even competitive, bro. If you're like having wrestling exchanges with Derek Brunson, I have trouble picking you against Hamzat Chimaev, bro. I feel like that's a pretty fair assumption to make. So my pick is Hamzat by round 2 TKO because, like I said, I don't think he's gonna get a sub. I think that if the second round's gonna start, they're both gonna be tired. Defensive wrestling is not as tiring as offensive wrestling, but think about all the offensive wrestling that Hamzat does, bro. They're gonna be probably about just as tired as each other. And, I mean, not to mention how Dricus fights. Look at the picture I have on the screen, bro. He is throwing the most telegraphed... I know that punch, bro. He is throwing the most telegraphed overhand ever. Hamzat is diving straight to his legs right there, right? In that moment that picture was taken, Hamzat would literally have him on the ground before his punch, like, goes all the way through. And there's no changing anybody's mind on that. Everybody knows that's true. And I mean, what else is there really to say, bro? Hamzat's gonna beat Dricus. I'm sorry, Dricus. But if it goes to a decision, Hamzat's cooked. Easy. 100%. No question. But, I mean, that's what everybody's saying too. But, like, so it's not like, whoa, crazy statement, dude. But, I'm chatting up too much, bro. I'm about to end the video. Chimaev by round 2 TKO. Rest in peace, Dricus, man. But then now we get to see Dricus versus Reinier de Ridder, bro. I'm really excited for that. I also would love to see Reinier de Ridder versus Anthony Hernandez, bro. Anthony Hernandez, I think, would maul Reinier de Ridder. That's besides the point. But I just had to get that out there. Anyway, thank y'all for watching this video, bruh. Like and subscribe. I spelled subscribe wrong, but like and subscribe for me. And yeah, bro. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna end the video, and I'm not trimming this.